Yes, we can still recite what we would do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to sign the warrants?
Make a motion to sign the warrant.
Second. All in favor? We all getting lobster for our Christmas bonus this year? It's supposed to be kind of a main thing they're starting, right? That you have lobster for either Christmas Eve or Christmas, because
The
it's
French,
French.
the French do.
The French do?
Yeah, a lot of people here do. Yeah, and I understand that.
Yes, I'm gonna have some for Christmas Eve. Yeah.
7 fishes.
The Feast of the Seven Fishes.
So you
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people in the cities have Chinese.
You know, we, anybody like to give me a motion for
The
accepting the minutes of November
Mhm.
2nd?
Make
Was that a
to
motion?
accept the minutes in November 2nd.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Hmm.
Okay. Here it is. Old business. Oh, let's see. Public Works Garage. Well, it's completed on the outside, and on the inside, we are waiting for the plumber to put in the furnace. Will be there on Monday and Tuesday. The propane tank was set and the slabs were poured, and Foster's is coming to put in the wires for the tubes for the propane, and the electrician has the power, there's power to the building, and mechanical services is coming up to put in the ventilation system, and if we're really lucky, we're gonna have heat by Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
So, then
It's very exciting.
it
It's lovely to go by it.
and
see
Ricky
it.
said he just might have a tiny little party in Christmas if we have heat and it's done.
He's probably not used to having a heated garage in December.
No, I'm sure.
We're not used to having this kind of warm weather right now, so.
So, I know Columbia Factory's doing fantastic.
On the brownfield grant, the foundation walls have been installed and the floor has laid.
Has been like.
Has been laid. The radiant floor heat has been installed. That was an item that was added to the original floor plan.
Oh, great.
There was a discussion with Peter Thornton, the contractor, and it was actually his idea that for a limited amount of money for the coils, that could be installed before the cement was laid. And Cecil did all the work to tie it in, and so this is one additional item that's been added to the project. The contractor estimates probably about 4 weeks until the project's complete. We had a conversation this week. I asked him where was he according to his plans, and he estimated 3 to 4 weeks
For the whole thing?
for the whole thing.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Now tomorrow, Larry Jones is going to bring his Lubec Elementary class on site. Previously, he brought the class down and worked with the engineer. They worked on slope. They worked on how the map that they're using in the classroom is used on a project such as this.
Perfect.
And
Wow, that's
they're going to do
great.
a follow-up to some of their projections and see how that comes out. And it's really, what they're learning today, some of that can actually be applied for an engineering career. And hopefully it gives them a chance to open up their eyes
What day were they coming down?
tomorrow.
Oh.
The groundwork, the slope, that's going nicely. There was an issue that we discovered early on in the week. When they were working down below, the engineer came down and realized the scope of work ended before the end of the property. So we had a conversation with the contractor and Nick Hodgkins from DDP, and Nick agreed that the project should be completed and approved the extra amount needed. film, have a nice program.
It looks wonderful.
It is,
It
I've
really
heard-
does.
I've heard a lot of
Pleasure
positive
to
stuff.
watch it.
I was down there today for a while, and it just looks, it looks wonderful.
Mhm.
Excellent, yeah, I can't believe it, I never knew there was such a beautiful view there, it's fantastic.
Mhm.
We had an addition, so not on your agenda, but something we need to vote on, is this, the Shellfish Committee voted to agree to have the rain gauge put here at the town office, and we had to absorb a $200 cost every other year for recalibration. But John felt that we should, because it's the town building, we should get approval from the select board. It won't cost the town anything, the money's gonna be coming out of the Shellfish Fund.
Yeah, I would vote that we would do that, accept the
Second.
rain gauge.
All in favor? Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things, like when we have rains and stuff and they use data to close the shellfish flats, a lot of the data that's being collected is not local data.
Mhm.
So by having the rain gauge here, you know, it's gonna give them local data, and, you know, the goal is that it would be more accurate.
Yes, okay. Discuss Christmas bonuses for town employees. You
Yeah.
have in your packet a list of the bonuses and with whom they're going to, and traditionally, at least the past 2 years that we've been here, Dan, it was $100 for full-time and 50 for part-time. I suggest that we go with that same amount, and,
I think we should accept, yeah,
Accept it.
absolutely,
Okay.
yeah.
accept the suggestions as
Yes,
written.
Yeah,
yes.
this is something that I've started since I've been here. Typically in the fall, we've been getting notified from Maine Municipal that due to our workers' safe actions, we get rebate checks.
Mhm.
I think this is a way that we can say thank you to our employees,
An incentive.
and it gives them incentive.
I agree.
All right, so I need
I'll
a
make that a
motion.
motion. Let's do
As-
that.
Second, all in favor? There's appointment paper for Debbie.
We do.
Somebody's from Debbie, I didn't know that. John and Debbie both attended the GA, the General Assistance Training Program this week, and Suzette was actually volunteered to give it to someone since she was focusing on treasurer, tax collector, and lien process, and deputy counter clerk and all. So this is to appoint Debbie Hood. Now, do you need to be, are you already deputy GA? So you don't need an appointment paper?
No, she's gonna need to appoint.
Oh,
me.
okay, we're doing it the same as, okay. So I need a motion to appoint Debbie Hood
So
as
moved.
emergency agent overseer of the court.
Some,
Second.
All in favor?
That's deputy agent?
No, she's actually the,
Oh,
she is actually
emergency
called
agent.
emergency
So she's the
agent
regular
overseer of the
agent.
court, the GA.
Okay.
Third, 16th day of November. There's quite a lot to that. You have to, there's the privacy and there's all kinds of forms and you have to go to the state and this and that and it's time consuming, but it's an interesting position. But we didn't need two, did we? Now, we have a sewer abatement, but we don't mention names,
No.
correct?
We
Just
received
remind me.
a phone call that a lady had an unusually high sewer bill. And basically, the sewer bill is based on the readings we get from the water company. Well, this particular individual was doing some landscaping and some yard work this summer and was particularly dry. And she indicated she felt that a lot of that had to do with outside watering. So Suzette went over and took a look at her average sewer bill, and it found that this bill here was above average. So I'd like to request to the board that we abate.
Yeah,
her
I'll
sum
make
of-
that a motion.
Second.
All in favor? had to say those opposed for quite a while. Get some kind of controversial thing going here.
Oh, I know what subject you can bring up.
Cut that out, we're not talking about the weather. So we've got summer rec and
Yeah.
is there, oh, so is Kathy Arrington brought off the statistics and information on the progress of the summer rec as of last year? So that's just because we do donate, we contribute, what, 10,000 to it? So I think that was very nice you brought this up, how many kids, how old they are, where they came from. So I want to thank her for doing this, and she even showed some pictures of the kids, and it's a wonderful program.
It is.
It's fantastic, really.
It is so nice.
So, let's see, 53, it looks like 53 of the, what, about 70 people that went are from Lubec, a few from Trescott, Whiting, East Machias, Campobello, which is really nice. Wyndham, Ellsworth, and Pennsylvania. So I guess we had some people that visited that took,
One of the things I noted when I read through it, is they were thankful that the community supported the program, and out of the $10,000 that was offered by the town of Lubec, 8938 went to help support Lubec income eligible families in sliding fees. So there's a lot of families who would not be able to send their kids, but because of the funding, right, because of the funding that they receive, they can set them up on a sliding scale and more kids can attend.
I just might add that Dallas and Joanne had the children and staff over again this year for a wonderful barbecue. That was really sweet. Summer Keys provided an instruction to lead a chorus. The people, and Get Grow program was involved, so there's a lot of
people
community
help out.
support here.
You know,
They do.
it's the
Everybody
kids
wants to help, yeah.
I know that when Heather was here, she taught dance there for the 3 years she was here with the
I
kids.
set up a washer tournament, and I'll tell you what, wasn't that the wrong idea?
Oh, they were all throwing the things
The
at
first
her.
thing, one got hit in the head.
Oh,
I said,
no.
that's it.
That's it. Well,
No.
thank you, Kathy. I think that's really nice of
It
her
was,
to
yes, thank you,
organize that. The
Kathy.
LCOC's doing a great job for the children and the after-school program. So I think John wants to talk about the Quaddy TV and when we could take it over, and we discussed, we were thinking maybe January 1st. You had a discussion with him, did you not?
Yes, we all talked about Bunky on about a week ago, yeah.
And your feeling was the same?
Yeah. He wants to sell some of the equipment, and we were going to call on John Stentz to,
Give us an idea.
give us some idea of the worth and whether it was worth what he was asking. And we were also talking about ways of enhancing what we use it for. Which, right now it's somewhat limited. And, I remember Dan, I think, talked about.
It was definitely Dan who donated his time to this project before he became a fisherman.
Yeah. Well, and I think that those things still need to be up for discussion.
Renee has some younger up-and-coming younger kids that are more maybe savvy and
Yes.
she's willing to help train them on it because
Well, I
she's,
think
I think,
it's
been doing a lot of projects with it
For
herself.
educational, as
Yeah.
well as maybe a town hand can be associated with this project as well.
Yes, I agree.
As long as it doesn't take too much time away from.
I don't think so. I mean, when you look at the number of slides that goes through on a regular basis, I talked to Suzette, we could set up a separate account for it, money could go in, money would be expended through the warrant system by the select board.
So ads they would come up here. Remember we used to go to Murphy's and drop our ads in a little wooden box?
That's right, yes.
They could come up here and drop their ads or,
Yeah.
submit
Yeah.
their ads for a reasonable price and then once a week maybe they could be updated. I mean, I think it's doable, but it needs to be organized. It can't just be willy-nilly whenever ad comes in. You
Yeah.
don't want to you just have to do it on a week. Like
Yeah.
Bunky and Paula did a really good
Yeah,
job.
They did.
and I think that was some of Bunky's concerns, was making sure that the ads were put on at a proper time and also taken off when they expired. I think he and Paula have done it for quite some time. They've done a very good job with it.
Yes.
It's a wonderful asset to the community, and I think we can do, a good job with it. I think there's some possibilities to expand it.
Mhm.
But I think that's down the road. I think
I
right
think
now,
we just stabilize it
we
right
need to
now.
focus on keeping what we have, and,
Yes.
I've talked with, lady from, Shelley Weckenbaugh from Time Warner Cable, now Charter Communications, and, talked about trying to get the same kind of agreement, to transfer it over to us. They need to do a little bit of work with Maine Municipal, just to make sure we're covered on that basis.
Mhm.
But I mean, I
Can you
think,
find that out before
Yeah,
we agree to do
yeah.
this January 1st? I think that should be our first order of business then,
Yes.
at the beginning of the year.
I do have a contact, with a lady that has a municipal station such as this, and I'm gonna reach out to her
Good.
and just try to see, you know, maybe she can give me a heads up, what's her community experience,
Mhm.
and we'll go from there.
Mhm.
Okay, that's great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Good.
It's, MMA Safety Enhancement Grant Program, we need sensors, I think John was saying we need sensors to our doors, the fire doors.
Mhm,
They don't,
yes.
right now, if you walk under them,
Yes.
they don't stop apparently,
Yeah.
or.
Yeah,
is that
and-
the- that's it?
and typically when we, get reviewed from Maine Municipal, that is one of the things that we get cited on.
Mhm. Mhm.
I talked with Bobby Hood, and one of the issues he was saying is that it's fairly expensive because the models that we have are older,
Mhm.
and in order to get the sensors, you also have to have the electric motor be able to communicate with the sensor.
Mhm.
He did get a quote for 2 of them, and it's $24.75.
Hmm.
So to do the entire fire department, it would be fairly expensive. But if we go through this grant program, it's 2 for 1. So instead of paying 24, we may end up paying around 8 or 9.
Yeah, that's good, we should do it.
So we've done it before. We've got some safety equipment for wastewater. We got a tripod, and we got some confined space equipment. So we have been able to use this program successfully.
Good.
So I'd like to
So,
have,
explain it, run the numbers by me again, I missed that. Buy one, get one free?
no, it's,
What was that?
no, basically, they review each application separately.
Mhm.
If successful, they will pay, 2 to 1. So if this is 2,400, they may elect to kick in up to 1,600, to help pay for the cost. The highest they go up is $2,000. So this would definitely fall under that category. I mean, basically, it would, rather than bear the brunt of the cost, it would save us.
So do we have 2 doors we have to do this for, is that it?
We got a quote for 2 doors, rather than do them all.
The 2497 is for 2 doors or 1 door?
2 doors.
And how many doors are out there?
4. We have 1 sensor.
Oh, we have one is
One of
sensor.
them has it.
So we're gonna do 2 more doors,
do 2 more
and then they're gonna give us back out of the
If-
2497, $1,000 or something like that?
If we're successful, they'll give us 2/3 of that, or around 1,600.
2 for 1.
If,
Oh.
if we get it, it's competitive base, we're gonna be
Oh,
competing with
okay.
other
Well, that sounds
municipalities.
just great.
But like I said, it gives us a chance to get work done that we need, and it gives us a chance to
Well,
save quite a bit.
That reminds me, I'm glad you brought this up, because I neglected to say that when we got quote for the LED lights for the garage that were costing us 15 of them at 4 feet for these big high ceilings, 4,700, we're getting $2,200 rebate and already filled out the form.
Good.
So I forgot about that. Yes, rebates are wonderful, make
They
the check out to
are.
town of Lubec.
Yeah.
Can I get a vote to go forward on this?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, I
Of
would
course.
vote that you go ahead and pursue the grant, John.
Second.
All in favor? And that's great that you found it. Okay, signed discharge for expired lien.
Yeah, we received word this week, back in 2004, the town of Lubec did a home improvement grant program through the Office of Community Development. And one of the beneficiaries was Jennifer and Mike Gallant.
Are you supposed to mention it?
Mm.
We're in an open meeting.
It's public knowledge.
Oh,
So,
public knowledge.
I went out and I talked with Terry Holden, and she said that typically this is done in a loan forgiveness program. And it's either a 5 or 10-year program. So this program was done in 2004, so even if it was 10 years, it would have expired. Apparently they are looking to sell the property, and this is something that's kind of hanging over it. So every indication I have is they've completed the requirements of the program, and I'd like to ask the board to
I make a motion to sign this. Second.
All in favor? Do you have a witness here? Is anybody back there?
Well, why don't you make a motion for me to sign it? And then
Oh.
I'll do it with Suzette, we'll do the witness and the notary.
You have another one of these, right?
Yep.
So, we'll make a motion that John can sign this, and then Suzette can witness it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure enough. Second, all in favor? Okey-doke. You've got it blank. Okay. Discuss recycling building.
Oh, yeah, well, Kenny was going to be here, and so was Michael Scribani, but since they're not, I guess I'm it.
That would be it.
Yes, there was a recycling meeting this past Monday, and Kenny brought up the topic of the entranceway into the building is becoming soft and saggy, so there is a definite need for some repairs there. In addition to that, we talked about the fact that the space to put everything there is not infinite, and they're kind of bursting at the seams. And there are times when you get down there and it's hard to do the drive around through there. That is compounded by the fact that there's a lot of backup glass. But then Michael brought up a very good suggestion that we pulverize the glass and use it for road surface, or Ricky driving might be able to use it as exactly the aggregate, which is, I think, a fine idea, and can supplement.
Buy a machine.
The machine in existence down there pulverizes.
They have a machine that pulverizes.
They have one.
But why don't we do that?
We do that, that's what we're saying.
Oh, we do pulverize.
Yeah, but before there was we could sell it, it was recyclable, and the price of that has gone down.
Yes, we know.
Yeah, so now we're stuck with all this glass, rather than just stop taking it, why don't we use it? So
Good
we should
idea.
pulverize it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So that'll reduce the space.
Yes.
So he's gonna get some quotes on the repairs, and we're gonna
I
try to
think
work on
he
that in the
is.
spring.
Yes,
Yeah.
hopefully.
It's not a good time for
And,
repairs now.
yeah, there is a topic of, at one time, and this, we were bandying this topic about, this was ages ago, of when we were thinking about perhaps moving out of that space down there. Would there be a possibility of moving to the Public Works garage since they were moving out? And I know that building is, well, that building is.
It's not salvageable.
Yeah, so it would require some kind of proposal to build a building or build a structure where you could more efficiently put in the recyclables. But that's all up in the air. That's all under discussion.
Or perhaps,
And
I
we
know
have
we're
already
waiting,
something.
well, I think we're
works.
waiting post
Okay.
garage and everything else, because
Yeah,
that,
we're working
being
on, we're
about
working on
that,
something.
is
Yes.
We
maybe
get
the
a yes or
facilities
no
committee
for
should
one
come
thing,
back.
and I like
That
your
was
idea
the
for the
topic.
second thing.
Yeah,
See
We'll
what,
put it
see
on the
what
back
happens.
burner.
yeah,
Maybe we could revive that
yes,
committee.
yeah.
Which committee?
The
Municipal facilities.
Municipal Facilities Committee, which, and once the garage and the salt
Yeah,
shed and
yes,
everything else had gotten
facilities
done,
Then yeah,
we put it to rest for a little while. Now that those are almost completed, we should probably revive it again, because we were having discussions regarding the facility down there.
yeah. And I was asking Kenny, because it seems to me that he's much more active in the summer. When there are people here, tourists coming in, there's just a consciousness about recycling. And it's true. And, but moving it to that Public Works garage makes it a very open, public, visible place for people in town. And
I agree, but it would really have to be nice because,
yeah,
I've never seen a recycling area that is pristine enough that you just moved it, so you're gonna put some, they're gonna
Absolutely.
pile up junk
And
and
that's all
garbage and,
part of,
and,
yeah.
yeah, I don't see
Yeah,
it.
it all
not
depends on
being-
how you construct the receptacles, yes.
I think we'll,
And I
plan.
understand,
I will
yes.
talk to John at a time not to hold this up and we'll
There's gotta be a
discuss.
good place for it, but I
Well, we'll
don't
get
see
the
it
committee
there.
back, because we had discussions on structures and things that could be done to the existing site. We just
Yeah.
put it
On the back burner.
Yes.
on the back
yes.
burner with the garage and the shed, so.
And quite frankly, when we were talking about that, I think you and I said, I don't have a concept of how much space is down there, because we always had those huge mounds of dirt, and you have no idea what you were
Right.
going to be left with, so now it just seems more of a reasonable thing.
So of
We're gonna
course,
have to go to public hearing anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Any land use, change of use
Yeah.
for that land, whether it would be, we sell it, we trade it, we, build on it, would have to be
Yes.
incorporated in a public hearing.
Yes, yes.
Get community input.
Yeah.
And that's, I do think we need better exposure for recycling. But maybe
But
not
in the
that, maybe
meantime-
not there.
Yeah, yeah. And that was it. Do we spend it on fixing up that building, or do we move out, or, you know, it was all just, we just need to begin to have a
So that
conversation.
probably should be something we should talk about before we spend too much money on the recycling building we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been down that road before.
I think, in talking
Oh,
to Rachel
and
earlier, I
yeah.
think part of this was just to kind of get the conversation on the table.
Yes, yes. And I found out something, that I don't know if the public knows this, but I and my friends are constantly asking, what do you do with those AA batteries? What do you do with all those batteries that you have to throw out? There never seems to be a place to put them.
Home Depot has a recycling, container for
No more.
lithium batteries.
The lithium batteries can be recycled.
Yeah.
Yes,
But
but I'm talking about the double A's, the
Or
everyday.
Typical carbon batteries.
Yeah. You throw them away. Michael said, throw them away. Just throw them away in the trash.
That's
He
a
said
piece of
it's-
charcoal.
Yeah. And I was being so virtuous by keeping them all and stockpiling them, thinking, where am I gonna take all these things? So,
Well, oil. you can take-
Evasius is gonna have a bigger truck next week.
Oil, like when we change the oil in the boat, you take it to, Randy Hall's, and
Uh-huh.
he uses it in his, and also Corey's, I think they both,
Waste
Take
of burn.
Yeah, waste oil
and they
batteries.
use it, and he heats his garage with that,
Waste
waste
oil,
oil. But you can't be mixed with anything, you can't have any, it has to be strictly the
Double
oil.
A batteries?
No, not the batteries, but
No,
waste
oil.
oil, like when
We're
you.
talking-
Oh, yeah, waste oil,
That's
yes,
another thing, what do you
yes.
do with oil?
Yeah, yeah, we also talked about that, and, yeah, right. Anyway. it was
Well, and
just-
on a very happy note, the Thanksgiving schedule for the town office is Thursday and Friday next week. We will be closed.
I will be slaving over a hot
Caught in a
stove.
trap of walking in the door and not leaving till the end of the day.
Yes.
But my phone will be on for those garage people.
Yes.
Okay, committee updates, John. Go ahead.
Okay, before we do that, I do want to give a reminder that the rabies clinic will be at the town office this Saturday from 9 to 11. So if you need to get your animal taken care of, dogs or cats, this would be a good time to do it. Shellfish Committee, next meeting will be December 12th at 6 p.m. Harbor Board, next meeting will be November 17th, tomorrow, 6 p.m. Marion Transfer, next meeting will be December 13th. Washington County Emergency Medical Services, next meeting will be Monday, December 12th. Revolving loan,
Wait,
next,
what's that, Monday, December 12th?
yeah,
At 4:30,
That's not
5
in this
p.m.
building.
5
okay.
p.m.
in Perry,
Oh,
in Betty Beth's.
Perry.
We go to Perry this
Perry.
Saturday.
okay.
Five
Tell
o'clock.
Joanne she'd be
I
going
will
to Many
pick that. I'll
Beds.
be sitting there in Betty Beth's parking
You did
lot.
many events at 4:30.
I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Revolving loan, next meeting will be December 13th at 9 a.m. Recycling Committee,
Was
next
that
meeting.
I saw on the thing, I thought it said the 6th on the agenda that night. Is the 13th?
Yes, because the first Selectmen's meeting in the in December is gonna be December 14th, so it's a Tuesday before.
Did you say recycle?
Getting to it.
Oh, okay, good.
Next meeting will be December 12th at 4 PM. Economic Development, next meeting will be tomorrow evening, November 17th at 5 PM.
Yeah, something like that. And harbor board's coming right at 6,
Harbor
perfect.
Board's at 6.
We will be done at 6.
Good. I'm gonna have to be. We'll throw it out.
That's what I'm thinking. Very good. Public comment?
David, got anything?
Are we gonna talk about?
About what? We can go, if you wanna go into executive session for that, I think we should, you wanna talk about it now? I mean, it's, pressing.
Certainly.
You wanna do that, or you wanna do it out in, talk about that?
Well, that's fine, but I mean, I think that it's been there for years and years. Nobody can remember when it wasn't there. Does anybody remember when the Lubec Elementary School was, sign was not there? Well, I think that precedence takes over in this
Eminent
particular
domain.
case. I'd say so, eminent domain.
Right.
It's been there, and what I'm concerned about is if it doesn't go back there, that the neighbor's trying to sell his property, gonna say, don't put it back at all, and right now, it was right on the property line.
Yes.
And they just bought a new sign, and I think it needs to go back up ASAP.
Yes.
As soon as the building moves, I think
Absolutely.
it needs to go up.
Yeah,
Right.
once the building is moved over there,
I mean,
can I make a motion that the sign
Yes.
go back? up?
yes, I'll
Put
second
back the
that,
sign.
yes.
I'm all in favor.
We're all in
Yes.
favor.
Yes.
I'll let you be a second on that one.
It's quick and fast.
Perfect. And, yeah, that's where it was, and we've done
Where
a
it's
lot
gonna
for
be.
the, we've done a
Ricky
lot for
Wilcox
them,
donated the
and
poles,
that's
he
ridiculous.
set the poles,
Yeah, they need to go back. It just needs to go back where it was.
and I'm sure they wouldn't mind
Well,
doing it, you know, the guy
I'm
with the.
pretty sure that,
He's pretty good
Oh,
at that.
yeah, I'm sure.
we spent a lot of money.
I did.
I remember reading that.
Yes.
Because I just saw her do
Yes.
like the VP, and I didn't think it was wrong with her. She,
Voted
I
on
mean,
it.
as always.
See how that goes. And you know what, you still own the property.
You all right?
You own the property right now,
Right,
so,
so
oh,
in this dark
well.
and gloomy world.
Yes.
Right, are we all good?
We're done?
Motion to adjourn, I see that.
Motion to adjourn.
He's like,